Growth is lonely because change separates you from familiarity. When you grow, your priorities shift. Not everyone is ready to grow with you. Most people fear loneliness, so they avoid growth. Comfort feels safe but limits potential. Growth demands courage to walk alone. Loneliness during growth is not a sign of failure. It is proof that you are evolving. Strong identities are built in silence. Her name was Noor, and she lived in a small, crowded neighborhood. Everyone knew her, but no one truly understood her. She was always present, yet rarely valued. Noor was the kind of girl who listened more than she spoke. She helped without being asked. She believed kindness would keep people close. Her friends enjoyed her presence but ignored her dreams. They laughed at her silence. They mistook her patience for weakness. Noor felt something changing inside her with time. Old conversations started feeling empty. Familiar faces no longer felt safe. She wanted more from life than gossip and approval. She wanted growth even if it scared her. She wanted meaning instead of noise. The day she decided to change was quiet. No announcement was made. No one noticed her inner shift. She started waking up earlier. She read while others slept. She chose discipline over comfort. Her friends complained that she was different. They said she was becoming distant. They never asked what she was becoming. Loneliness slowly entered her routine. Lunch breaks became silent. Messages stopped coming. At first, the silence hurt her deeply. She questioned her decision many nights. She wondered if growth was worth the pain. But every lonely moment taught her clarity. She started hearing her own thoughts. She discovered strength in solitude. People she once chased stopped calling. The world didn't collapse. Her heart learned independence. She realized growth doesn't come with applause. It comes with empty chairs. It comes with misunderstood intentions. Noor stopped explaining herself. She stopped proving her worth. She started protecting her peace. The loneliness that once scared her became her teacher. It taught her boundaries. It taught her self-respect. Slowly, her confidence changed. It became quiet but unshakable. It no longer depended on validation. She began improving her skills daily. Small progress replaced empty talk. Her future started taking shape. People noticed her absence more than her presence. Her silence felt louder than her voice. Curiosity replaced neglect. Some friends tried to return casually. They acted like nothing had changed. Noor smiled but stayed distant. She had learned the cost of access. Not everyone deserved closeness. Growth demanded selective energy. Loneliness now felt different. It was peaceful, not painful. It felt like alignment. She stopped fearing weekends alone. She enjoyed her own company. Solitude became her recharge. Others stayed stuck in the same cycles. Same complaints repeated daily. Noor had moved beyond that world. Her success was quiet but visible. Her discipline showed results. Growth rewarded her patience. Some felt inspired by her change. Others felt threatened. Growth always exposes truth. She no longer chased friendships. She allowed connections to flow naturally. Desperation had no place in her life. Noor realized loneliness was temporary. Staying small was permanent. Growth was the braver choice. The girl who was once ignored was now respected, not because she demanded it, but because she changed internally. She learned that outgrowing people is natural. Not everyone is meant to stay forever. Growth requires release. Her heart felt lighter than ever. She carried less emotional baggage. Peace became her priority. Loneliness had shaped her character. Pain had sharpened her vision. Growth had rewritten her identity. She stopped mourning old versions of herself. She honored them. They had led her here. Noor finally understood the truth. Growth is lonely at first, but regret is lonelier. Time passed, and Noor's life kept moving forward. She no longer waited for messages. She waited for opportunities. Her routine became her strength. While others wasted time, she invested it. Growth quietly widened the gap. Some nights were still heavy. Memories tried to pull her back, but her vision pulled her forward. She learned that loneliness doesn't mean being alone. It means being selective. It means protecting progress. Noor faced moments of doubt again. Growth tests you repeatedly. Only the committed survive those tests. People began talking about her behind her back. Success makes noise in silent rooms. She never responded. Her calm confused those who expected explanations. She chose peace over arguments. Growth taught her restraint. She stopped sharing her plans. She moved silently. Results spoke louder than words. Loneliness now felt like preparation. It sharpened her focus. It disciplined her emotions. She noticed how people returned only when benefits appeared. Their intentions were clearer now. Her boundaries stayed firm. Noor smiled politely and kept distance, not out of anger but awareness. Growth had changed her standards. She finally enjoyed being misunderstood. It meant she was no longer predictable. Growth had elevated her mindset. The girl who once needed company now needed purpose. Her goals mattered more than approval. Loneliness strengthened her resolve. Some friends apologized genuinely. Others came with excuses. Noor listened but chose wisely. Growth taught her forgiveness without access, kindness without attachment, peace without guilt. She understood that loneliness refines character. It removes emotional dependency. It builds inner leadership. Her confidence now inspired younger girls. They saw strength in her silence. Her journey became a lesson. Noor shed wisdom only when asked. She no longer chased validation. Growth made her grounded. Loneliness helped her hear her intuition. She trusted herself fully now. Doubt lost its power. She learned to sit with discomfort. Growth often feels uncomfortable. Comfort rarely leads to greatness. Her environment changed slowly. New people entered her life. Alignment replaced attachment. These connections felt lighter. No manipulation existed. Growth attracted healthier bonds. Noor realized she was no longer lonely. She was simply selective. Growth had completed its phase. She remembered her old self with compassion. That girl survived confusion. This woman created clarity. Loneliness had done its job. It shaped discipline. It revealed self-worth. Now her presence felt powerful, not loud but impactful. Growth had matured her soul. People respected her silence. They sensed her strength. Growth created that aura. She no longer feared losing people. She feared losing herself. Growth made priorities clear. Noor understood why growth is lonely. It removes distractions. It forces self-discovery. She accepted loneliness as part of evolution. Every level demands separation. Growth never apologizes. Her life finally felt aligned. Her heart felt steady. Growth rewarded courage. She no longer questioned her path. Doubt had faded. Growth became natural. Loneliness was no longer a phase. It was a lesson completed. Growth had transformed her. Noor smiled at her reflection. She liked who she had become. Growth felt worth it. The world around her kept changing. She remained centered. Growth anchored her. She knew this truth deeply now. Growth is lonely in the beginning, but empowering in the end. Noor's growth began showing in her work. People trusted her decisions. She became reliable without seeking praise. She took challenges calmly. Pressure no longer broke her. Patience and focus guided her actions. Some old friends tried reconnecting. She listened but didn't compromise. Growth had taught her boundaries. Noor noticed how lonely efforts create results. Silence builds discipline. Determination builds outcomes. She started mentoring others quietly. She guided without taking credit. Growth spreads when done selflessly. Loneliness became her teacher. It taught emotional independence. It strengthened mental clarity. She stopped fearing judgment. Opinions no longer dictated her choices. Self-trust became her foundation. Opportunities multiplied naturally. People recognized her value. Growth had prepared her for them. Noor faced moments of fear occasionally. Change is never comfortable. Courage is required daily. She realized that growth often isolates you from toxicity. Distance becomes a natural filter. Wisdom teaches when to walk away. Her family noticed subtle changes. Respect replaced criticism. Understanding replaced misunderstandings. She spent time reflecting on past mistakes. Self-awareness guided improvement. Growth required honesty with herself. Some colleagues envied her progress. They misunderstood her calm confidence, nor ignored negativity gracefully. She learned to celebrate small wins silently. Validation came from effort, not applause. Progress became her fuel. Her social circle became smaller but genuine. Relationships aligned with values. Quality replaced quantity. Noor felt proud of her independence. She no longer needed constant support. Strength became her companion. She finally understood her purpose. Growth was never for approval. It was for self-realization. Some people returned to her life. Their intentions were clear now. She welcomed alignment, not attachment. She avoided unnecessary drama. Calm replaced chaos. Focus replaced distraction. Noor's health improved. Mind and body felt stronger. Loneliness had taught her self-care. She began setting long-term goals. Discipline ensured consistency. Results followed steadily. Opportunities she never imagined became reality. Preparation met timing. Growth rewarded patience. She realized life respects persistence. Effort compounds silently. Results arrive unexpectedly but deservedly. Noor stopped comparing herself to others. Growth is personal. Every path is unique. Her confidence inspired peers. Calm leadership earned respect. Influence grew without showmanship. She finally accepted solitude as a friend. Alone doesn't mean lonely. Growth made her independent. Her life now radiated quiet power. People noticed authenticity. Growth reflected in actions, not words. She realized the importance of emotional maturity. Decisions became logical, not reactive. Calm became her default. Loneliness had taught her reflection. Reflection created insight. Insight built wisdom. She stopped fearing future challenges. Preparation built confidence. Experience provided foresight. She realized that every moment of isolation had a purpose. Pain had shaped her character. Silence had strengthened her soul. People she once envied now admired her quietly. They saw calm confidence. They saw patience rewarded. Her old friends who misunderstood her now respected her boundaries. They realized true strength comes with self-respect. Noor smiled quietly. She stopped trying to please everyone. She focused on herself. She nurtured her dreams and passions. Every small decision she made intentionally now mattered. Choices aligned with purpose. Growth became a lifestyle. Noor's confidence was now unshakable. She walked with calm authority. People naturally followed her lead. She learned that loneliness is not a curse. It is a preparation. It is the price of transformation. Noor felt proud of herself, not for recognition, not for approval, but for staying committed. She finally enjoyed peace in solitude. Silence was no longer empty. It was full of clarity. Growth taught her resilience. Every challenge was a lesson. Every obstacle was an opportunity. She stopped comparing herself to others. Every path is unique. Success is personal. Noor realized that people leave and arrive in life naturally. Growth is about who stays aligned. Loneliness filters distractions. She learned to celebrate her own achievements. Validation came from within. Happiness became self-generated. Her heart healed from past doubts. Her mind became focused. Her life felt aligned. Noor understood that emotional independence is strength, self-trust is power, inner peace is freedom. She became an inspiration quietly, not by words, but by her actions. She learned that true growth often feels lonely first, but it always leads to empowerment. Noor finally embraced the truth. Growth is lonely, but it is worth every step. Her story is a reminder for everyone. Challenges and isolation are part of evolution. Stay consistent and patient. Noor smiled at her reflection. She was no longer the girl seeking approval. She was the woman defining her life. She knew one thing for certain: growth is lonely, but it shapes greatness. The journey never ends. Every day brings new lessons. Growth continues silently but powerfully. Noor's life radiated calm confidence. Strength reflected in her choices, peace reflected in her heart. She finally lived fully in alignment. No distractions, no compromises, just purposeful progress. And that is the ultimate truth of growth. It may feel lonely, but it always leads to the strongest version of yourself.